And welcome to Energized. The future is now. It's Jim Check. I'm Jason Mann, and together we take a look at the, the news that is evolving in our rapidly moving space, energy, AI, and you just got back from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, so lots to report on.
Lots of energized stuff there, that's for sure. It was, I've always wanted to go. I finally got to go, and I got to see, and I think it was a good year to go, for sure. 2024, lots of AI, lots of energy type stuff, and innovation, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Everything from wearables to drivables to rechargeables.
Stuff in your house and like health tech and all kinds of stuff. We got a little video that we can kind of play a little bit, and we can kind of like show some of it, and maybe we'll just get, and we have Sophie helping us today. So there's my badge, and that's the CES Convention Center. We can just pause it there. Big convention for sure, over a multitude of places. This is Wonderland or whatever. So they actually could ride a train into this tunnel. Okay. And then the screen all around you kind of develops. Just keep going there. Kind of cool though. And then some robotics for sure, like lots of, like that, stop right there. That is like a sphere that is part of that Wonderland too. And
it's 3D imagery.
You know what? I don't even know how they're doing it. Right? Like, I think it's from the inside, right? There's nothing being projected on it. I think it's been from the inside it's projecting. But there's the big CES, not at the CES, but like 2 blocks away. There's the big sphere there too, right? I didn't go. I saw it in action from the outside. Looks pretty impressive for sure. Lots of gifts there. And then you can pause back on the hand there too. A lot of stuff in artificial limbs, and I could use an artificial limb. I'm missing a finger. But
let's say this: if they actually came up with like an attachable
finger
prosthetic for your finger,
would I do it?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I would for sure, 100%. But I'm sure this is like we've been seeing, like Bolt, Usain Bolt, running with those. But if you look at the way the fingers are articulating there, that's pretty impressive. And then we've also seen Tesla's Optimus, and the way that it can pick up eggs and articulate them and stuff like that. So the articulation of the hands is pretty impressive. There was a robot there that was making a barista. It was a barista, so it would make your coffee. It would actually pick from things, and it would actually create and make the coffee. So I think, if you're a barista, I don't know how many years away you are from that, but there's definitely this one here that you see on the screen right now is basically like a large dehumidifier. So it's good for remote locations that the military uses it. It creates pure drinking water out of the air. So it's taking, especially, and it does it even in really dry climates, but obviously in humid conditions, it can create a lot of water for you. That's pure water.
Well, in a place like California, where they certainly have a lot of salty water, but not necessarily a lot of fresh water, that might be a good.
Yeah, but it's right out of the air, so it's it takes a bit of energy though to do it. So, but if you're running on solar panels, and this is a fancy car. We'll stop again. We'll go back to so a lot of the earth moving equipment. This is a car from Honda. The electrification of almost everything there. There was like semi trucks. There was big Caterpillars, John Deere tractors, and large boats, all electric, right? So a lot of stuff in the electrical area. You just keep going. There's an underground mining machine. This is the Tesla Loop. You can let that go. So this is where you can go from different venue to different venue. You ride in a Tesla. It goes underground. This is Elon's boring company. I took the ride. So you go down to this thing. You get in your car, and then you go through the tunnel.
And you actually do drive it, or does it self-drive?
There's a driver in there.
Oh, okay.
There's a driver in the car. And then they take you up to the next one. And this is all in fast forward. And there you are. You made it to the next one. We pause there. So LG with the big electronic show, see-through panels. So you can see through when they're not being used, and then they can pull up a black panel that will make it like a full screen, like a regular TV. And then you can also run it as a screen where you can kind of see through, and everything just play some of the imagery. Maybe we'll play some of it after too.
Is this the micro LED? Is that what they're?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so you can see that, and then tons and tons, and pause it there. Tons and tons of electric motorcycles, like tons of manufacturers of electric motorcycles, with long range. So I would say you're going to see a lot of electric motorcycles pretty quick.
Makes sense, right? Like they're lighter to move to power
and fast.
Yeah.
And
oof, can you imagine?
Yeah, that's the scary part. Motorcycles are already fast. But yeah, so again, Honda with their Space Hub mobile. Honda had quite a bit of like really futuristic stuff there. I don't know how far away they are from actually bringing it. This is a really cool one. So, I'm going to get this number wrong maybe. I think it's 87% in large trucks, like transport trucks, accidents happen on wet roads, whether that's snow or wet. So this is an active tracking satellites track all the weather, and then they use GPS to actually slow down their trucks and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So this is to try to prevent more and more accidents, right? So the people that subscribe to this service can actually control their trucks in some way. Lots of little robots. If you pause again, we go back to that little robot. So lots of little robots, and now on there, right there's a little desktop robot that you can get, and you can run your own code on it. So that could replace your front receptionist. And so it'll greet you, say hello, and it'll interact with you. And then, based on what you program it to do. We see that actually here in Kelowna. Smitty's has.
I was going to say the little
you've
server.
Been there, Smitty's, haven't you? Little server that comes out and it's got the cat eyes like that, too, right? Like Miss Kitty or something like that. And it actually brings your stuff out. So this one is actually to program to run as a receptionist, or you could have it do a multitude of tasks.
Basic questions and I guess things like that.
You could make it do a lot of questions and answers and stuff like that too. But you know how we kind of have a little iPad here that I don't know if we've run it. We run it every now and then, the iPad on the front, and it'll text the person you're here to meet with, right? So this one is just a little higher end because it actually talks like hello. Yeah. And it'll interact because it'll see you, right? And then start.
Do they have prices on these things at the?
You can order it. I brought the brochures. Okay. So this one is for programmers to work with. And then the next thing I think we're going to see that is from Hyundai. Hyundai has had a really big exhibit there, and lots in the earth-moving stuff. So that was a pure electric backhoe or crane or whatever you want to call it, right? So pretty
industrial.
Impressive. Yeah, pretty impressed. So this one from VinFast this one's a prototype. I don't know how far fast I'll get it to, but if you look at the way the doors opened the normal way in the front and then suicide doors on the back, so it opens up the cabin. Watch when you go around the whole truck. If we keep going, when we go around the whole truck, it's glass roof, completely open in the back, like pretty wild, eh? Yeah. Stop there. I think there'd be a lineup for that truck.
It's exciting to see the different.
I think people would line up for that truck because that looks like it has all kinds of fun written all over. And then this one here is a BOE, Chinese manufacturer of an EV. Okay. With the currently world's largest display across the screen, like that full display across. The fit and finish inside the car, I'm going to say BMW, Mercedes, very,
like European fine.
Just
crafts.
I don't know if they brought their best, but it was very well. Not available in North America yet. Currently selling in China. China has like 100 EV makers, right? And they say they're second to like BYD. BYD overtook Tesla past quarter in total output in electric vehicles. BYD is the largest Chinese EV maker, and they were telling me that they're just like behind BYD. I don't know if that's true or not. I was going to look them up on the internet and see more on it. But if we go a little bit further, I think we might see the front of the car too. Right there. Whoop, we go back just a hair. There you go, the front of the car. Pretty sleek looking. Kind of a cool color as well. Not a color you typically see. BOE, very well put together though. Like I say, inside very plush, very elegant, like the soft, supple feel to everything.
That's like, I can't believe it's not butter yellow.
Yeah, it's pretty. I can't believe it. Yeah, it's a different color. It's like mustard with butter, maybe. Yeah. And then the next car you're going to see is Lucid. So stop there. So if we go back just on Lucid, Lucid is more of the luxury manufacturer of EVs. They have longer range than most, like Teslas even. Quite a bit more expensive, and they had the display, actually, when you swipe up with your finger, the display actually tucks away, so you have storage underneath the display.
It's called Lucid.
Lucid, yeah, Lucid, yeah. He said they are. I haven't seen one in Canada. I did talk to somebody else. They said they've seen a couple. But they do say they're selling them in Canada. They have very low numbers right now. They're pretty expensive. I've heard that the screens are not nearly what, like the software is not nearly up to Tesla, but their batteries are supposed to be better. There's like longer range anyway, right? And then stop there. And you remember that truck there? That used to be made in Kelowna. That was a Kenworth.
Is it?
White Western Star Kenworth. Fully electric truck. So I don't know if that's the Peterbilt. The
that definitely, that looks like Peterbilt, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Peterbilt. I think next to it was the Kenworth.
Okay.
That one was, and then stop there. We'll go back. So there's a new sport being created in South Korea called drone soccer.
Ooh.
And Canada has teams right now. I think they said they have like 30,000 teams worldwide right now in the countries that are playing. So 5 people operating, almost kind of like, what was that game called on Harry Potter?
Oh.
Quidditch or?
Yeah. No. Quidditch.
There you go. Quidditch. Look at Sophie from the UK. Quidditch. So same type of thing. I don't think it shows it in this video. We might be able to play some of the other videos, but 5 drones. You got to protect. You can protect your goal. You got to get through the round hole. You got to get your drone through the scoring one through the hole, and then the other ones can block in that. So 5 players on each side playing this game of Quidditch, I guess. Drone soccer.
Okay.
And that's just the outside of the CES, and just kind of let her go there. I think that might be the end of this video. We can just play some of the other ones, and I can kind of like, again, this is just the Tesla Loop thing. Pretty cool thing. And again, this is with the Boring Company.
It was just a continuous loop of...
Yeah, cars, and they go to different stations, so they can go to different places.
Okay.
So the goal is to make roads all around Vegas from resort to resort, right? Because there's obviously no traffic, nothing getting in the way. It's a very fast trip because you're not stopping at any lights. This is a Pebble trailer. Kind of like a high-tech RV. It can park itself. Like once you get it on the driveway, it'll unhook and it'll hook itself up and park itself. And inside the RV is pretty high-tech too. I think this is the one video that shows the one side of it. But more robotics here. Lots of robotic arms and stuff like that doing different things. So a lot of robotics.
How many car manufacturers would you say you would have seen there?
That's Mercedes there. How many car manufacturers in all? Yeah. Not a lot, actually. Okay. Not a lot.
What would you say
Sony had a car. They're working on a car.
Really? Sony car.
So Sony's one of the big sponsors of the event.
Yeah.
They had probably a venue that was as big as Prospera.
You know, Sony is like a giant
But no
stereo.
TVs there, just all cars. I mean, they had lots of display screens, but they weren't showing off their TVs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's all about entertainment, right?
Yeah.
And I think they partnered with Microsoft on their car.
It's a venue.
I think Microsoft now is the most valuable company in the world. I think I seen that on Bloomberg this morning.
Yeah.
This is VinFast again. This is where we've seen that fancy truck. You can see that truck in the background, but some of these are their production vehicles. VinFast is for sale in Canada. And I believe they're partnered with, I'm going to get this wrong, I won't say. And there's a Honda. Lots of displays. This one is more about, again, Honda's more about entertainment as you're driving. Entertainment as you're watching it drive as well. Not distracting at all, right? The Space Hub. And again, this one is very much a luxurious car. Kind of like a Bricklin in a way with the way the doors open there.
Yeah. Almost a modern...
There's a motorcycle with 2 plug-ins on top of it. Again, lots of electric motorcycles. Lots and lots of electric. Yeah, and I can't... I believe that we're going to probably see a lot of electric. I haven't seen a lot on the road yet here. I haven't seen lots of scooters in that. There's your little robot there that was actually making the coffee. And there's another, I think that was more of a display robot. And this robot here is...
there's your pet
That's kind of like the Boston Dynamics one. It's like a tack dog. Lots of pool skimmers. And lawnmowers. If you had a job cutting grass, I don't know, you should probably start looking because there was so many lawnmowers there, robotic lawnmowers. Once you map the thing out and it'll cut the grass, then you on a schedule.
Right. Just comes out of its little hole and
it just comes out and
3D printers.
Yeah, lots of 3D printers, lots and lots of 3D printers, right? Lots of robotic arms for sure. Lots of robotic arms.
You know, robotic arm.
This is the cool one here. If we just pause here for a second, washer and dryer, all in one.
This is it, eh?
So this is the all in one. This is, I think this is the GE one. All in one. You don't have to move it from washer to dryer. Takes up half the space, obviously, and it said uses less energy too. Pretty cool.
Would that be on the market now?
I believe they are. There's a few manufacturers that are showing them off. If they're not out there, they will be shortly.
You know, save space. A lot of times people, you know, are fighting for space.
Yeah, especially if you're in smaller space, apartments and stuff like that. And this is a street sweeper, autonomous.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a street sweeper, hey.
Soon they'll be making Zambonis without Zamboni drivers.
Yeah, there was a lot of autonomous stuff there for sure. Again, a lot of the pool stuff. A lot of vacuums too, robotic vacuums. We had one like probably 4 or 5 years ago. I never thought it worked very well.
Oh, really?
So we just kind of
we use ours for a bit.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe we just got a bad one.
Maybe. They have their limitations for sure.
There's a lot of what you just seen there was a lot of pool, or not pool, but water propulsion devices for like scuba diving or snorkeling or whatever. So from small ones like you just seen on the last bit there to very, very large ones, right? So maybe you can just play some of those individual
assistive diving kind of.
Yeah, assisted diving kind of things. I think they moved you about 6 kilometers an hour or something like that. So without you having to self-propel.
Do they make them to go faster than a great white shark?
Probably not. Maybe you could feed him the device first, and he wouldn't like the taste of it. No, not that one. Absolutely not that one. Yeah, that's the one outside our window today.
Oh yeah.
There's some robotic stuff. That's where we already looked at that. So there was. We can just talk about some of the other stuff. There was, and maybe I'll try to put together a video when I have a little bit more time. There was a cooking device that you put the food in like a screen that's this way, and it cooks a steak in 90 seconds.
Wow.
Using infrared.
Interesting.
It turns it on, turns it off, turns it on, turns it off, and just like superheats, like convection almost. But then it senses the depth of the meat or whatever, and then it just like.
Did you see perfection? To perfection. So you saw like, was it nicely charred in any way? Did it look like it was poached?
Okay,
like,
so they weren't actually cooking in the show because they said they weren't allowed to. So they had fake. It was going like just in.
Like I'm thinking, okay, so you go to the keg and they're gonna throw it.
Yeah, no, he said it's supposed to be really good, so okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it seemed like kind of like a George Foreman. Seemed a little gimmicky to me, but yeah. I don't know. But the one that was really cool,
it'll at least cook your hot dogs.
Yeah, next to it was a little. They give you little pods, almost like the coffee pods.
Yeah,
and you get ice cream in I think 90 seconds too. Right? And it was good ice cream. I tasted it.
Really?
Chocolate and vanilla. It was really good. And there's tons of flavors, so it'll make ice cream. The machine was pretty big, though. Like, so you got this huge machine making ice cream.
So everything from ice cream makers to earth movers to...
Lots of health stuff for sure, too. Lots of wearable health stuff. Some tattoo stuff.
Could you get a sense of what was really, like, hot and emerging, like, versus what's been...
There's Kenworth there.
Hot and emerging, what would be sort of
fully
the
electric semi.
Most exciting piece of technology that you saw?
I think that the theme that I would go with is energy for sure. A lot of electrification and a lot of AI. Like, I mean, that's the general theme of the show. Most of the stuff, even some may claim they have AI, but you know, like even high-tech backpacks, right? Where you have plugins in your backpacks, chargers in your backpacks.
Now you picked up a couple of things. You picked up a backpack and you picked up a charger.
Yeah, a little solar charger, solar It's a little small. I should have brought it in here. A little solar brick. We'll talk about maybe at the news. Solar brick charges from the sun, and then it can give you up to about 2 charges on your iPhone. And it's magnetic, sticks on the back on your mag lock, and you can charge your phone. The Pebble was cool. Lots of people wanted to see that Pebble. The Lucid was a pretty cool car inside too, pretty elegant. Like Teslas are pretty, like the Model 3s are pretty minimalistic
I was gonna
inside,
say, yeah, minimalistic.
Whereas, like the Lucid and that Chinese car, like BOE, was just pretty opulent inside, right? Like if you want to wow somebody, that's the car, like when you want to bring them in there, right? Because same as a BMW or Mercedes, lots more glitz and stuff like that. I don't know if their tech is as good as Tesla's, but they're definitely, if you're just want to get in the car and watch a movie or something. This one here, I really, really liked. I thought this was super cool, right? Look at that ease of entry inside that vehicle. Look at the cabin.
It's very utilitarian, cool, but also pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I think if you're a Jeep lover, this would appeal to you. Really. Look at the the wide open back, like great for camping, great for like kind of like 4-wheeling.
It's pretty gnarly.
I think if they put out pre-orders on that one's probably going to get.
Who's the maker of that?
VinFast. Yeah, so that's a few of their other vehicles there. That's one of their those ones. That's another VinFast. Bobcat, all electric.
Oh wow,
lots of
You can see that working out.
What's that?
You can see that working out.
But
yeah, Bobcat never needs to go anywhere.
If it's in Prospera Place and working, like say they're getting ready for the rodeo and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they used to use propane ones and stuff like that. But if you use electric one, then you can work in there all day without having to worry about ventilation, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's lots of electric forklifts already and stuff like that. So it's not like there hasn't been electric stuff, right? Because inside of factories, inside like we go to Costco, like they're either running on propane or they're running electric, right? So because you're not going to run a gas powered machine in there. But all in all, like lots of like my feet were killing me. Like,
a lot of walking.
Lots of walking. I'm just trying to think. There was like.
Was there anything that shocked you? Was there anything that was like, oh, I can't even believe this?
I think the one thing is that TVs are now any size. Like I think we were kind of stuck at that 100-inch you had to pay quite a bit for a 100-inch, but now there's mini LED blocks where you just keep putting the blocks together and you make that TV micro LED. So you can make that TV. I've seen one there 163 inches, and supposedly they light, so you don't see the lines between the blocks because I guess they light up the
junction or something.
The LEDs next to where they're right at the edges there, so it kind of like blocks them out. So
it's seamless.
And then the transparent TVs were pretty impressive. Some of the big displays obviously were impressive because that's a lot of wow factor.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I think lots of battery stuff for sure. A lot of Kia had a big display there. Again, these are a lot of like people movers. This is like a commercial van that would propose to be, right? So they got, like if you look inside and kind of like George Jetson-y, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of very
decidedly.
But just if you look at that flat floor, one of the cool things about electric is you don't have that hump. Like if you think about it in a traditional car, it's very, very kind of cluttery inside, right? Because they have to deal with that drive shaft hump that goes down the middle of the car, right? So you take that away, and you end up with a lot more usable space in the cabin.
And a different feel, that's for sure.
And then this is kind of cool. This is the fingerprint lock for an internal lock. That one there, the first one. That one there. So you put your thumb on it and you turn it and it automatically unlocks it when you're like, so if you have internal, like for kids and stuff like that, you got a fingerprint lock inside the house, right? Selling at like $29, I think.
That's what it said.
You got to order like 1,000 of them to get that price. But a lot of Airbnb locks and like different types of locks that you can use. A lot of stuff that ties into your phone for sure. Lots of tech that, even your clothing, that will tell you, your heart rate and how many steps you've taken. There was a golf simulator thing with a small stick, like a stick about like, I don't know how am I doing this, like this size.
Yeah. And
you swing it into a TV. I didn't seem to be that accurate, but I don't know. I mean,
a little gamey.
It might have been.
Oh, there's your ice cream.
There's your ice cream one there, right there. So they take those little shots and you're like, boom, like see the size of that machine, and less than 2 minutes for ice cream.
Huh.
Good ice cream. I don't know what that machine's going to cost. They said right now it's only for commercial, that they're going to use it for commercial use. So you got soft ice cream on demand. You don't have to clean the machine because you and I have owned a soft ice cream store.
Yeah.
You don't clean the machines. No cleaning the machine because it's all kind of like
That's a game changer.
Compartmentalized. It's all in that one little container, almost like I say, the little coffee pods, right?
Yeah.
So everything kind of single serve. I don't know how much waste that is. There's that articulating hand. Pretty impressive. Very, very impressive.
Not only opposable thumb, but the strength of 1 million people.
$6 million man. I think Elon Musk said recently, well, maybe not a $6 million man, but maybe 60,000 because he said he can do it for 60,000. $60,000 man. It was definitely worth going for sure. I think there's all the robots, the lawn robots that are cutting the grass. Again, you just have to show them the perimeter that you cut the first time, and it'll stop for small animals and stuff because there's a sharp blade underneath, obviously, right? So, or if it gets lifted up or whatever, it'll shut off. But there's larger ones, commercial lawnmowers. So pretty impressive.
It looks neat, gotta say. So your final takeaways: energy for sure. AI,
wearable,
solar, personal type stuff.
Lots of health stuff. Lots of health stuff. Beds, anti-snore stuff in beds.
Vehicles, mobility,
big one. Lots of stuff for helping people with disabilities there for sure. There's a little kind of like a cheesy robot. I'd say cheesy because it looks kind of cheesy. I remember I bought a robot. Oh, it's got to be like 25 years ago. I think it was called the Omnibot. And it had a little cassette player, actually. That's how old it was. It had a cassette player. It would actually you could program it to kind of go in a certain path, and it would play music when it got to you.
I bought a robot for my daughter a couple of years ago, a little Miko robot, educational robot. But I don't know. It seemed like it might have some sketchy security issues. So we put it in the closet, turn it off. Yeah.
Staying with a baseball bat and see how far it can go. That screen was pretty cool. I think we've watched this video already.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The weather thing.
I'm surprised you didn't come back with more stuff in your backpack, though.
They don't sell anything really there,
okay.
Right? So you're not supposed to buy anything there. Well, unless you want to buy a large contract or whatever. But there's a lot of manufacturers there from China that were trying to sell contracts or whatever, like to get you to manufacture overseas.
Yeah.
But like I said, I guess the one that I'm most impressed with, for sure, like if I had to say, hey, is that Chinese automaker. Like, because everybody has that perception that Chinese is a poor quality. Well, and I think they used to say that about Hyundais too. You drive a Hyundai, right? So
they've definitely gone up market.
I think that I think that if I was a legacy automaker right now, I'd be worried or trying to partner because.
Can you buy what is it, BID or
BOE?
BOE?
Not right now. No, not in Canada. Not in the U.S. I think they're trying to get into these markets. I think they're gonna try to do their best to block them out of this market. But I think they're coming to Europe, and because they make the cars fairly cheap too, right? So that's going to be really
they'll have a competitive
game changer for a lot of people. I mean, if you get in that car, if you didn't know what it was, if you didn't know it was a BOD or whatever Chinese car, and you just had to sell it, you didn't know what it was, because if you look at the logo on the steering wheel, it was like 6 squares or something like that. You would probably think that car was $75,000, $85,000. Just from the outside fit and finish to the inside, you would think that it was a $75,000, $85,000 car. And they're saying it's going to be in the 30s.
Oh, really? Wow.
I don't know how they're going to do it. But
wow.
So if you think about that, it's pretty impressive.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That brings fine style and accessibility to everybody.
I mean, it just makes everything that you compare to it look less.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you compare, Like if you looked at some of those cars, like looked at some of the. I mean, the Honda stuff was definitely conceptual. The stuff there, the Kia stuff was conceptual. And they had cars turning on a dime, right? They had a Mercedes that actually turned on a dime too. Like it actually just turned its wheels and it just kind of like spun,
like a shopping cart.
Yeah, and then, but I think there was some legacy automaker EVs there, and they just looked out of place. Do you know what I mean? In a high tech show, they just looked. There's a 65 Mustang there. It kind of looked like that. I mean, if you look at the Mach-E and you look at the 65 Mustang. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people really love that classic style, right? But if you sat most young people down to the next in that, you sat them in that BOE and you sat them in something that's full of buttons and everything, they're probably going to take the flashy, glitzy. Right, Marcy? Glitzy, right?
Sophie.
See, entertainment.
Sophie.
Sophie. I call her Marcy. I'm so used to Marcy here. That'll take a while. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting recap, and
maybe we'll delve into one or two of the items, and maybe we'll do some research on the BOE, and we'll do something on that BOE, and we'll find a couple things that we can actually do. Like maybe we'll talk about that battery thing because we can use that and talk about the pricing and all that kind of stuff and see where
you'd use it, etc.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully my mic wasn't too far away and all this, and it wasn't too quiet. So,
yeah. Awesome, great. Well, thanks for giving us a tour of the show, Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's over now, completed.
It is Las Vegas, Nevada. Elvis has left the building.
Elvis has left the building, and so have we. We'll be back at 4:00 with the news headlines. We'll be back with more episodes of Energized soon. Until then, remember, the future is now.